Hello people, Finders Keepers Magnet Fishing here. Welcome. We've got a different kind of video for you today. I've gathered a bunch of my favourite finds for the last 1.5 to 2 years. I'm going to show them to you guys. So let's get right to it. So as I said, I've been magnet fishing for almost 2 years now, and it took me a good couple of months before I found anything good. But this here was my first wow find. This is a World War I water canteen used by the British military. It would have been blue with an enamel coat, but I think you'll agree it's still in pretty good condition. All things considered, I mean, it's been in the water for decades. Unfortunately, I can't find any writing at the bottom. It's way too smooth, it's all been washed out. But yeah, this was the find that really made me realise the potential of magnet fishing. Sticking with the military theme, right here we have an L1A1 SLR magazine. It's used in fully auto and semi-auto rifles. No bullets in the magazine at all. I did try giving it a clean in there, but it's starting to chip and flake, and I really don't want to damage this any more than it is. As you know, or as you may know, guns are illegal in England, so when we find guns or gun parts, it really is quite a thing. So yeah, that's L1A1 magazine. Been fishing at the same spot multiple times, but I just can't find the rifle. Wish I could, but who's to say it's even in there still. So while we're on the gun parts, right here we have the lower lever from a Winchester. You would put your fingers in here, your trigger would be around here, and it would cock up and down, chamber the round. I put a little clip of the gun that it should be from, a little photo. But yeah, if I'd found any other part of this gun, I would not have been able to identify it. But to find the most distinguishing feature of it, what can I say? To me, that is awesome. Okay, the next items we have. This is a World War I clasp knife. Had a bone or antler handle. It's in quite bad condition, but to be fair, for as long as it's been in the water, what do you expect? Now, I have tried cleaning it and drawing the blade, but the only thing that's keeping it all together is the rust on the crud. So I dare not touch it. It's a lovely little piece as it is, so I'd like to keep it that way for display purposes. Here we have the bigger brother. This was a clasp knife, really used by the Navy in World War II, but it's still in production today. This is pre-World War II for the simple fact, pre-World War II, because it has the horn handle. They switched to a steel black crisscross for mass production when it comes to war. It has a marlin spike that would have been used for untying knots. Still very sharp, but it locks in place, which is outstanding. I'll show you some pictures of the lump that it was when I first found it, and it's just unrecognizable as the same knife. The blade drawers, it took a lot of cleaning to get it to this state, but yeah, pretty good. You can see the blade, the camera might not pick it up, but the blade was well used. It had been sharpened many times. And also on this knife we have a tin opener, which also still locks into place. But yeah, overall, this is like It's one of my favorite things I've ever found. It was the first project that I cleaned up and was successful, so I'm super happy with this knife. So next on the list, I have some ammo for you. I live in Dorset in the countryside where game hunting is popular, so shotgun shells, particularly spent ones, I'll come and find here. I mean, not much good for anything, but I like to pop a lighter in them, you know, good old clipper lighter. Looks really cool. So yeah, got about a dozen of these. They're not special, find them all the time. But these on the other hand, going for this one first. This is the spent tip from a 90mm round. If it was the complete bullet, I wouldn't have been able to keep it because it's illegal. And here is the tip of, I believe it was from a 5.56. I found a good handful of them over the last couple of years, but once again, they are illegal to own, so they have been handed into the local police station. But these tips are entirely legal, absolutely fine to keep them, so they look great in the display. Keeping with the military theme, this is a small hatchet. It has a hammer on the back, blade here, and it would have had a crowbar fork on top, but it is broken on that end and the handle end, so this one has seen better days, but I love it. It's a tiny little axe head, very cool. Next item we have here are World War II battery cells. Now these would have stacked on top of each other. As you can see, there's already a couple here, and the top of it looks like the part that you'd get on a square battery, and they would have used these for radios and other equipment that they would need in the field that would need electricity. So just old batteries really, but the fact that they're from World War II is really cool. It's always good to get batteries out of the water for the environment, to clean it, but to find batteries with a bit of history to them, yeah, that's really cool. The next item is hands down one of my favorites. This is a Belgian pocket pistol with a 0.2 caliber, I believe it is. And that caliber is obsolete. It's no longer made, so that makes it perfectly legal for me to own this and keep it. I do want to give it a little bit more of a clean and then stick it in an acrylic cube that my brother's going to do for me, and that will look amazing. It's very rare to find guns in the UK, as I previously stated. It is illegal to own them, so to find one that I can keep without repercussions is amazing. I'll show you some pictures right now, and as you can see, it was completely caked. We originally thought it was a flintlock gun because of the size of it, the shape, the hammer. It just looked like a flintlock gun, but the fact that I can keep it just blows me away. There are some details on the barrel here, but I don't know if the camera will make it out. The writing's in Flemish, so I've got no way of translating it, but it does say something pistol 0.02 on it. The handle is in great condition considering it's wood. I would have thought that would have fallen off. And fun fact, the bigger brother to this gun that isn't a pocket pistol, the bigger version, was the same gun that Picasso killed himself with. So lovely. But this, I imagine it would have been a little hooker gun, you know, tucked away in the stockings or whatnot. I will put something next to it just as a comparison for size. Best I can do really is a shotgun shell. We all know how big they are, just a couple of inches. So yeah, as you can see, very small. I've got quite big hands, so it doesn't really do it justice, but this is cool. It's nice to have a gun as a keeper in the UK because it doesn't happen very often. I have a little short on my video of my son, Charlie, when he was 2.5 years old. He found this little horseshoe, or what he believed was a horseshoe. It was really a boot heel. I'm going to insert the clip now. Horseshoe? That's so cool. Well done. Charlie, Daddy, high five. High five. Yeah. He was very happy. So yeah, I wasn't going to burst his bubble. He's seen me pull him up for the last year. We've got 100 or so in a bucket outside. So yeah, he was so pleased to find this. He really was. So I will keep this and cherish this forever. So while we're on the subject of children, here we have a toy cannon. Now it's missing its wooden base, but my brother is a carpenter, so he's going to make one up for me. These operated on a spring pull back, and he'd go in and hit a cap that would fire a projectile, usually a little ball bearing. It does have some kind of badge or crest on the side here, but the metal is very chewed up, and although it's quite thick, it's quite fragile. It's got a few chips and a couple of small cracks in it, so I don't really want to put that in any rust remover just in case it damages it further. So yeah, I would like to get a little base for that, and that'd be a lovely display piece. I believe these are about 100 years old or so. Very cool. Here, this one really baffled me at first, because we found this little container. I had no idea what was inside it until we cleaned it. And inside, we have a very, very old sewing kit. I'm not sure what all of the parts are for. I don't know how to sew. I'll lay them out here for you. We've got some mother of pearl buttons. They are not plastic. We've got these little tiny lead things. I'm really not sure what they're for. Like I said, I don't stitch. I have no idea. I don't know the names of any of these things. They're very cool. So there's a tiny little hook on it, and it would have been used for grabbing the thread, I imagine. Literally the only thing that was magnetic inside this was this and the safety pin. Originally I thought that was plastic, but it turns out it's ivory, so I'm very happy with that. And I thought this was gold at first, but it turns out to be brass. But overall, I'm very happy with that. It's a lovely little find. Now unfortunately I don't have it anymore. I'm going to stick some photos on the screen, maybe a little clip. That would check out spike size. Any blue pills in here? But these are pound coins that were pulled out of a condom machine that was found in my local park. It was extremely heavy. It took 2 of us to get it out, and when we did, a couple of these pound coins fell out. As the machine rattled, we assumed there was more money inside, so I bought an angle grinder, chopped it up, and this was it, £6. There were half a dozen packets of condoms in there, about 20 years out of date, so that's a nice laugh. So I wish I'd kept the machine because the profit wasn't high, but still, it's a very, very cool find. These are some of the Victorian keys that I found local. Where I am in Dorset, it is a Georgian era, Victorian era town. So things like this are fairly common, but usually they're broken or smashed, just barely recognisable. But these keys are so cool. Absolutely adore them. I'm going to get a box frame to get a bunch of them together. I have got some more, but they haven't been cleaned and they're in worse condition. But look at that. Absolutely love the history that is just on my doorstep. And we also find a lot of padlocks around here. They're usually smaller or in a lot worse condition. Usually the lock itself is broken. But to me, I love brass on the rust. It's beautiful contrast, especially when you clean it up and it shines through. The writing, if you can't see, it says VR improved pattern tumbler lock. I know a few people that absolutely adore these, and they're not alone. But yeah, there's some of the Victorian finds I found around here on my doorstep. This next piece is amazing. This is a German Führerhand storm lantern. They were used in World War II quite predominantly, but this one dates just after, unfortunately. But the fact that the glass was intact absolutely blew me away. I have tried to give it a clean. You can see some of the chrome coming through, sorry, some of the shine is still coming through. I will show you a quick picture of how it did look. It's completely caked in barnacles. But unfortunately, I can't clean it any further. It is extremely brittle and fragile. Half of the back here fell out. And I put a hole in the bottom whilst I was trying to clean it. It clearly says Führerhand on the side there. Made in West Germany. I got a serial number here. It says NR1276. I just couldn't believe that the glass wasn't smashed, considering how battered this thing is. Yeah, this will always be one of my favourite finds. They still make them today, so I may buy one just for keeps. But yeah, storm lantern, gorgeous. With magnet fishing, is almost always ferrous metal that we find, almost, unless you're using a hook or you get something lucky like a safe or a wallet that's still full. But we all want gold and silver, but this is the best I've done so far. This is a silver and horn fork from the 1800s. It was made by Mappin, I believe it is. They partnered up with somebody else. It says on the hallmark MAPPIN. I don't know if the camera will make it out, but I will post some pictures of close up. As I said, the top half is silver and the bottom half is, I think it was bone or horn, I forget. But literally the only magnetic part on this item is this little band here. This little silver steel band is the only reason I caught this fork. But it's got some lovely detail on it. I just wish I could straighten the prongs out, but at the risk of damaging it further, that's not going to happen. So I will keep it as it is, and it may not be a chain or a coin, but silver is silver, and I will take it. This here is one of my more recent finds, and while we're on the subject of precious metals, show you a gold necklace that I found. This leather strap was attached to it. Unfortunately, it came off when I was trying to separate it. All this was in a tiny little leather pouch, and we cut it open. We found two little notes and this sword necklace charm. The writing on it is Arabic, and I have to give a massive shout out to the rest of the magnets, Clay and Jen. They have a friend who's a native speaker and was able to translate, and very fitting, it says, "I leave nothing in the past." So I think that's a motto I may have to adopt. It did have two little notes inside the pouch, one of which was completely destroyed, but this one was fine. There's only this one line of writing, 2 words, and I believe this one is in Hindi. So I'm going to post some pictures and maybe somebody in the comments can help me to translate it. But like I said, it was all in a little leather pouch, and the notes were tied up between this metal clip. I think it's part of a lighter, to be fair. But this little piece of rubbish was the only magnetic item in the pouch. So if it wasn't for that, I never ever would have found gold with a magnet. So yeah. If anybody can translate the Hindi, please get back to me and let me know. Yeah, I think it's some kind of prayer. But if it turns out that it's for mourning or anything related, then I will stitch the pouch back up and put it back where I found it. But for now, gold is gold, finders keepers. This isn't one of my finds, but it's so cool I have to share it. This was gifted to me by a friend called Susie O'Neill. Many people in the Magnificent community will be familiar with her. It's a bottle opener. I cannot remember if it's World War I or II. I'll ask her and then I'll stick it in the comments. But it says made in England on the base there. It's something we don't see very often. So yeah, cap opener, bottle opener, and a corkscrew. It all collapses, or it should collapse, but I don't want to force it. Pop that in your pocket. Awesome. But right here, I have my oldest find. It is damaged and it's not in the best of condition. This is a Glenshire horseshoe, and they date back between 600 to 700 years old. When I first found it, I just thought it was a crudely made horseshoe. I would have liked to clean it to find out how many nail holes are in it, because it would help to date it. But unfortunately, it's so brittle and fragile, I dare not touch it. After today, it's going back on the shelf and being left there. But I doubt very much that I'm going to find anything this old ever again. 600 to 700 years old. At the time, I dismissed it. Like I said, I thought it was a crude horseshoe. I threw it in the bucket. I thought it was just a normal old horseshoe, crude. So I put it aside and didn't think anything of it. A friend did some research, sent it to a few people. And it turns out, yeah, as I said, a Glenshire horseshoe. Yeah. I'd only ever found 2 or 3 horseshoes by the time I found this. So I was none the wiser that it was any different. But what can I say? I don't think I'm ever going to find anything this old again. I'm just going to quickly glaze over some shells and explosives because I don't have them with me. For obvious reasons, it's illegal. I am going to show you a very quick clip of a World War I Mills bomb fragmentation grenade. I believe it's Mark 1 or 2. It was found in a local park, believe it or not. There's no immediate danger as long as I don't throw it.
Got a grenade.
Yeah,
Mills bomb. Give it a spin for us if you can, mate. Not blowing us all up.
I can.
Pin's still in there. Right. Time to make the call.
Go.
Whoa!
Yes! That was huge!
Whoa!
Yes! So as you can see, was very fortunate to be able to record it being detonated by EOD. We called it in, the police come, shut down the town, calling off the park where it was found. Yeah, for obvious reasons, explosives are illegal to keep and highly dangerous, so if you find one, turn it in. After the police called off the town, this is the only keeper, I suppose I could say, because I'm not bringing a grenade back home. But some cordon tape, I'll take that. The second explosive I'd like to show you is a World War II 40mm AA shell, a Bofors round. They were used to shoot down planes in World War II. And yeah, once again, EOD were called and this was handed in. Terrifying. I never want to find any explosives again. I found 2 from my bucket list and I do not want to find any more. And the third shells we have here were keepers. They were 40mm anti-tank training shells, extremely heavy. I don't have one to hand right now, but I'm going to show you a couple of pictures. These are training rounds. They are not live. They're a solid shot designed to take a tank out and entirely legal to keep. And I've got about 6 or 7 of them now. Now this is one of my heaviest finds I've ever had. It's a full railway sleeper with 2 cast iron rail chairs. The rail chairs would be used to hold the actual train line in place, and this thing is heavy as hell. I've given it to my brother. He cleaned it and restored it. and it sold for £150. Here it is out of the water, drying up. To my knowledge, nobody else has pulled out a full sleeper with the chairs intact, so this is amazing. This was another extremely heavy find due to the fact that it was full of water and mud, but it's a 5-gallon paraffin drum used by the Navy in World War II, or at least this one was. I don't have it anymore. I've given it to my mother and she absolutely loves it. In this clip, it was the first time I took one of my brothers out magnet fishing, and he pulled up a specialised rock hopper bike frame. The bike itself, in good condition, they sold for £500 brand new. I was lucky enough to get £150 for this frame. That's not bad for something you put out of the water, eh? Now this is one of my absolute favourite finds. It's an enamel sign from the early 90s for Seymour's. They did carbonated drinks. I cleaned it up, as you can see. It was absolutely gorgeous, and this sold for £250. Not bad for something out of a river, eh? Alright people, if you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. It was an amazing couple of years magnet fishing, and let's hope the next couple of years are even more amazing. Thank you for watching. Have a happy new year. Like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Finders keepers out.
Whoa!